Well, we just want to be here with you until everything is over. And that's to reassure you that 24/7, every day, every Saturday morning, we'll always be here to help you kickstart your weekend on the right note. Because we want to see you, relax. In the midst of all the things that is happening in Nigeria, in the midst of all the challenges that is happening the world over, inflation, high cost of living, I mean, literally, there's no day you wake up and there is not one thing that is stressing the life out of us. I say it takes a special grace to be a Nigerian. I don't know, Ime, do you agree with that?
Absolutely, for you to be a Nigerian and still keep your mental health safe and sound, it is because you're doing something really, really deliberate. You're being intentional about your space. You're being intentional about your environment. You're being intentional about what comes into your space, like what comes into you. So you're just trying to guard yourself. You're trying to guard your environment because Nigerians are going through a lot. Nigerians are going through a lot. Nigerians are doing Nigerians. Let me use that word. Nigerians are doing Nigerians. Governments are doing Nigerians, and it's a whole lot of things to grapple in. I mean, during the week, even the Senate president had to acknowledge that, I see that Nigerians are going through a lot. Nigerians are grappling with a lot of poverty, hunger, and all of that you have that you could want to mention. So it takes a lot of special grace to be Nigerians. And in the midst of all that is happening, you still see that Nigerians tends to be very, very, they tend to look like they're rising above the water. They're not bothered. They're just something to make them happy. There's always something, and irrespective of the tough situation we find ourselves, the economic situation we find ourselves, Nigerians are always finding a way to keep themselves happy. And I think that's one thing that has made Nigerians special in how we live our lives.
Nigerians are truly special. Now let's come to Akwa Ibom State and bring you the sights and sounds of what transpired within the course of the week. We start the conversation this morning by taking you into the fashion world. I mean, Nigeria, Africa, we are known for our uniqueness when it comes to the fabrics that we wear, when it comes to the style of clothes that we put on, when we come to the events and how we turn up for events.
Yes, sir.
That is why the red carpet is one of the most interesting places to, just take a pause, stand by somewhere, and just, if you have a secret camera, pick the different personalities walking through the red carpet, and you will literally be amazed at what clip you will be able to come up with. Of course, within the course of the week, we saw Akwa Ibom come up go with the 20th to 21st precisely. We saw the Uyo Fashion Week 2024 edition, which happens to be the third edition of the event. Brought to you by Lady May Edmond. Of course, this season brought the likes of, Eve Essen, who is an Akwa Ibom daughter, Iniedo is an Akwa Ibom daughter. Of course, the phenomenal Nancy Semi, the host of the event, Ebenezer Umor, was also there at the event. And then, the Ogbonge in the Nigerian street parlance, like the biggest of all fishes in the entertainment industry, Uncle RMD. I mean, this is one man whose fashion sense and swag gets me standing 24/7.
Well, RMD doesn't want to get old. That's in age. Even in dress sense, he does not want to get old also. So a whole lot of us are looking up to RMD and like, okay, even in my I think he's in his 60s.
Yeah, he's in the 60s.
He's in his 60s, and even in his 60s, he's still giving this 40 years old vibes, and you're like, man doesn't want to get old. So some of us that are growing up, you're looking up. He's a real definition of, when I grow up, I want to be like you. That's who RMD is. But aside from that, I want to really, really, appreciate the organizers of Uyo Fashion Week, because it's a platform where creatives in the fashion industry comes to display their creativity. If you go through the pictures and the videos of what happened during the Uyo Fashion Week, you'll be amazed at a lot of fashion designers that were on the runway. You'll be amazed at the kind of design. So it goes on to sell. This is like selling Akwa Ibom, telling the world that Akwa Ibom has whatever it takes. Akwa Ibom can become the next Paris, where when it comes to fashion, you have it all sorted out. So the Uyo Fashion Week is another tourism in the fashion industry, that if you're looking for fashion sense, if you're looking for creativity, if you're looking for great fashion ideas, Uyo has it for you, and it's a good one.
Well, definitely. When you look at the makeup, I'm looking at the makeup of the designers who grace, the 2024 Uyo Fashion Week event. From Akwa Ibom, we had Emma Bassi, that's Shapes by Emma. That was one of the phenomenal Akwa Ibom, fashion designer who showcased. We had Clement Fanga. We had Ame Ekpenyong, of course, Melissa African Fashion.
Now,
we had
I know why they talk this thing. So I understand
House
what
of
it means
Bora.
for
That's a
person to
strong name
suffer
when it comes to
sickle cell.
fashion in Akwa Ibom.
Wickedness for this world.
Very significant lady there. And then, of course, we had
sometimes not the government
Kinobi Oluwatosin Aminat, of course, Aminto's Designs. We had John Fade Rosiji, John Creatives, and Bokola Gunsakin, Freebies Accessories. And of course, these were the crop of fashion designers that we saw on the show. Of course, the likes of P. Zakpanudo Prime Wears was also there. Kaninyene Usenekong, Theodorox Mastre was also there, and lots of other phenomenal fashion designers from Akwa Ibom State. And outside the shows of Akwa Ibom State, Lagos, Port Harcourt, Abuja, who had the opportunity, to sample their creative work. At the event, a lot of amazing things were said, and particularly coming from Lady Edmond May, the convener of the event, and of course, His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umoino, as to the impact the Ibom Fashion Week is making as far as cultural tourism promotion, of course, is concerned. We're going to take some, sights and sounds from the Uyo Fashion Week 2024, which take off with the speech of the convener of the event, talking about Lady May Edmond. Of course, we move from there to the governor's speech, and then we'll come back before we bring you the other trills and sounds of the amazing personalities who graced the event.
Because I've always envisaged the day that we'll be able to curate this and have government sitting on it. Because this is the third season. I mean, it's amazing that we've done 3 years. This is the third season. I think the first year they thought, she's just playing around, just a joke. And then we succeeded and we did the second year. And today, we're here celebrating the third season of the Uyo Fashion Week. And I'm grateful to God. I'm grateful to my government who encourages talent, who encourages creativity, who encourages visions, and then they permit you to go out there and achieve it. My government, I am grateful. Thank you. I thought that this is Uyo Fashion Week. And then I asked myself, what are we doing right now? We're in the Arise agenda. The governor has curated such amazing agenda to encourage everyone through the platforms. And because everybody who knows me knows that I preach about the creative industry, because that is the most powerful, I think, industry. Because if I look in this room and I look at every single one of us, one industry has affected you. You couldn't leave your house today without that industry affecting you, without you spending your resources and your money in that industry. And that one industry is the creative industry. So that is an industry that is powerful because it helps to inject into the economy. So every day I preach, we need to be able to create avenues where we can showcase the creative industry. And I am glad to tell you that in Akwa Ibom, we are creative. We have talented, gifted, amazing designers. You will be amazed this evening. Because what you're about to witness this evening are not veteran designers. Because I thought, what better way to start Uyo Fashion Week season 3 than to bring our young ones, because they are the future. All that I do today is about the tomorrow. It's about the future. It's about the young ones that I see, and I'm burdened that how do we So tonight, you're going to witness 18-year-old to 25. All the designers on the runway tonight are age 18 to 25. It's amazing what you're going to see, the creativity. And I thought that is the absolute best way to be able to introduce season 3 of Royal Fashion Week. And I'm grateful to God that I've got my governor here seated, I've got my deputy governor seated, and I've got the whole of Akwa government sitting here, because you need to see what your children can do, so that together, because this evening was important for me, for the governor to be here. Why? Because I knew that if the governor comes here, I'm going to get all the people that need to make the difference in this state, they will be here. So we'll be able to then talk to you to say, His Excellency is not, we needed to bring you here, so we can bring them here with you, so that they can begin to see what we do, and they'll be able to encourage us.
Modeling a fashion brand. I mean, it was amazing to see, and it will be wonderful to see the governor do that. But let's get to hear the governor before we wrap up this conversation.
Let me start by commending the passion and dedication of our dear sister, Lady May Edmond Fan, for staying true to the fashion and the vision that has propelled her to start the Rio Fashion Week, which today has grown to become one of the most eagerly awaited events in the state. Let me welcome all of you that have honored the invitation for this event. Akwa Ibom State has been variously described as Nigeria's best kept secret, and rightly so. From the serenity of our capital city in Rio to the hospitality of our people, our world-class cuisines, to the rich infrastructure we have been blessed with, Akwa Ibom is indeed a success story. Rio Fashion Week, which celebrates talent and drive for excellence in the fashion industry, has grown exponentially since it started about 3 years ago. Every year, the best names in the industry and the larger entertainment space converge here in Rio to showcase their skill. I believe that the New York Fashion Week, those in London, Paris, and indeed other major cities in the world started like this and have grown to become the defining cultural events they are today. So we continue to encourage our people in bringing out their talent and creativity. Like Lady May said, government will continue to support creativity. And that's why we are here today, to support our creativity, our talent, mentoring our young people so that we can rise to the occasion. I'd like to thank Lady May for painting the picture of the Arise agenda. We see it everywhere. And we thank you so much for this collaboration. One of the things I like to do is, I wish I could stay till the end to see the just show fashion for the young people. I like to see fashion for my old school. I belong to the old school. I like to see. So what maybe I like to say to Lady May, that next year government will partner with you and probably sponsor a segment that will show Akwa Ibom fabrics, African fabrics made into the style that the deputy governor is wearing, and we can see much more of that. That's kind of, we like to see, office things, we like to see some church things, and the former, excuse me, you put your mouth where your money is. So if I'm going to sponsor some segment, you know that our former First Lady, Dr. Mrs. Odomi Manuel, is a fashionista herself. I like to see some of those. I want to walk away from here, to be honest, and while the younger people are happy about the people, the designers of their class, I want to also walk away patronizing the designers of my class, and then we can mix together. I think that's a good mixture. So I support the young people. I enjoy everything that came out, but I like to see a little bit the people that will take care of the old school. I belong to the old school, and so it gives us that blend. And I'm please requesting the Commissioner for Culture and Tourism to work with Lady May so that government will have a segment We like to see the Akwa Ibom fashion. We like to. That's what Uyo Fashion Week is all about. If I go to New York, I like to see this in New York. But if New York comes to Uyo, I like to see a little bit of Uyo, and that's the segment I want to sponsor. You know, but I am not in any way, please don't get me wrong, I love what I saw. That's for a younger generation. And the kind of fashion that Mr. Demofort talked about, the way he looks, this is the kind of fashion I like to see. So I can walk away with some, place some orders as I go away, get my commissioners to do some orders. You know, we want to make business here too. We want to make very good businesses here. And that's my thought in terms of addition. But let me thank the organizers for, when I walked in here, I didn't believe that this is a Ibom Hall. So this is a good work. And we have supported this event. But seeing what I've seen tonight, I'd like to double that support. And don't ask me what was our support. That's our little secret between us and
Well, His Excellency Governor Pastor Umoina there speaking. I literally feel like telling him, congratulations, Your Excellency, you've spoken well, but please, Your Excellency, let there be a standing marching order and signatures signed into documents to validate and authenticate what you've said as far as the Uyo Fashion Way is concerned, because we'd like to see this consistently growing.
When I heard, when the governor was speaking, and we just echoed that, this promises he's making, I hope he keeps to it, because it's one thing you see governors, you see governments go to an event and say, I'm giving out this particular amount to support this particular event. At the end of the day,
it takes forever for the funds to come.
You know, in the process of getting the money, you're even frustrated yourself. So you might even want to spend more than you spend. Probably he promised you 2 million. You might get to spend 3 million before you get the money. So we just hope that he keeps to his word and encourage because he said he's going to support the fashion weekend. So let's look forward to next year, whereby he's giving a full support, and so we are going to see government's presence in Uyo Fashion Week. So we should expect something bigger and something really great come next year with government support. So if you're having a combination of private and public partnership, I mean, you heard when he said he's looking forward to having New York in Uyo. So there's been a touch of Uyo inside. So that is what we are looking forward to. We begin to attract investors in different sectors that will, at the end of the day, generate funds. He said he also encouraging business in Akwa Ibom, whereby people doing business in Akwa Ibom will be able to get. I mean, if business are thriving well in the state, it shows that the environment is conducive enough for business. So if the governor is doing this, it shows that he loves what he's seeing. So let's hope that come next year, we see him in full support. Well,
I do hope the governor is able to get. I know the governor would make true with his words. Okay. But I hope that his foot soldiers will not act as anti-development agents. Exactly.
What's that word? You begin to
cut down on the budget.
Down on the budget.
Yeah, everybody will be looking for kickbacks here and there. So before it gets to the organizers, the value of the partnership has been drastically reduced, and it doesn't amount to anything. But the touch of when Uyo in the Fashion Week takes my mind back to the controversy that happened when the organizer did model casting for the event. Remember, the social media was agog with, something is happening in Akwa Ibom State, your models are not being taken, and all of those conversations. And I sat down and looked at some of the comments and some of the posts that people made, and it took my mind back to the place of adding value to yourself. It took my mind back to the place of growing, to the place of not staying in a particular environment. Like, back in 2007, 2007 to 2009, down to 2015, down to 2018, one thing that was prominent around here for entertainment was like, everybody felt they were gods. A lot of people around felt like, oh, I'm the only cock that can crow in this industry, in this particular genre, or in this particular bid. And you look at what they have to offer and, you know, measure it on a scale with what is happening in Lagos, with what is happening in Abuja, with what is happening in Port Harcourt, with what is happening outside Nigeria. And you ask the question, if these people were to be put on the same stage with other people doing the same thing they do, will they be able to measure up? And oftentimes when you do that, you find out that very few, you can literally just count the number of persons who are consistent in knowing what is happening in the trend and keeping themselves updated and keeping themselves informed, so that when you put them on the same stage with others, you will not spot the difference between, oh, this one is an Akwa Ibom bred model, this one is a Lagos-based model, this one is this. You won't spot those differences. And the controversy that happened during the casting was just a matter of, you know, people who are not invested in themselves, you know, thinking because it was happening in Akwa Ibom State, they were entitled to it. Yes, it is happening in Akwa Ibom State, and you have, you know, the extra advantage that you're an Akwa Ibomite. And just like the governor stated, we want to see a touch of Akwa Ibom. But in the process of seeing a touch of Akwa Ibom, we should not give away the excellence that the organizers want to achieve. We should not give away content value, content what? We should not give away professionalism and settle for mediocrity in the process of doing that. And I think this is where the problem is. And I love the fact that Lady May has taken it upon herself to now begin the grooming process and the training process. So these models who felt left out now have 1 whole year to add value to themselves in preparation and, you know, awaiting the 2025 edition of what will come.
You know, this conversation that we just started now, I think some of this conversation I was trying to avoid, because the truth is you don't feel entitled because international events, because I would like to call the Youth Fashion Week an international event, because in the long run, it's going to have a lot of sponsors beyond Nigeria. And, you know, and Africa. And international events like that, you don't feel entitled because it's happening in Akwa Ibom City, it's happening in Uyo, and they should pick you. Every organizer of an event knows what he's looking for. He knows the standard he wants to place at an event. And so if you do not meet that standard, you shouldn't complain. The fact that models were complaining that they are exporting models, importing models into the state to take over their place, looks like they are, you know, segregating them. No. Were you able to stand, were you professional enough? Were you up to the standard of requirement? So it goes down to what you said. It is beyond the Akwa Ibom stuff. So every Akwa Ibom man now in the creative industry should know that there's a place for growing. There's no place for complacency. You should grow on a daily basis. Whatever industry you found yourself, whether you're in the fashion, you're in the music, you're in broadcasting or whatever, every day there are trends. There are new things that you should learn. You should have that mind to learn and unlearn certain things. There are certain ways that, you know, there are certain movements on the runway that probably is outdated, is no longer in use.
And even some steps of catwalking.
Some steps of catwalking is no longer in place. And you feel that, oh,
that one you knew 20 years ago.
20 years ago, because you are a Akwa Ibom champion. No, don't do that to yourself. You know, you are doing a disservice to yourself. So please grow. If you're an actor in this Akwa Ibom, go beyond, you know, your sphere, go beyond the state, see beyond Akwa Ibom, so that if someone comes and there's a, you know, I so much love the story of Enwon Abasin. When she was in Higher Crime, and she was also in this film that, you know, Aniebet Francis produced. I'm trying to remember the film. I remember when... Is
it Aqua Money?
No, there's
Higher Crime, there is Aqua Money, and then the last one
recent
was,
movie.
Oh, God. I'll go back to think about it.
She said that this... I mean, if you followed Enwon, you know that when I asked her that, I was like, was Enwon in Akwa Ibom? She says it's in Akwa Ibom. So you need to grow beyond your location. You are an international person.
Because unless you just want to be a local star.
Yes, unless you just want to, you know, remain in this comfort. You want to remain in the comfort zone. You know, so grow beyond. What are the trends? What are the current trends in your industry? What are you supposed to learn? What are you supposed to unlearn? So that an international person comes, it picks you up. There's a story I saw. There's a story of a boy that I saw from Port Harcourt to, you know, UK. The boy was just, you know, the boy sells on the road. It was he hawks on the road, and one way or the other, you know how you see a potential, like I see potential
model.
Yeah, model potential.
Yeah, I think I know the story you're sharing.
Yeah, and the guy is now an international guy. So whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is, this is to all Akwa Ibomites, and not even Akwa Ibomites. Everybody. This is to everyone watching me this morning. You should invest in yourself. Take out time in a day, 2 to 3 hours. I mean, if you want to grow in whatever you do, take out time and teach yourself new things so that when opportunity comes, you are running at it.
Well, definitely when opportunity comes, you're running with it and having a great time. Let's go to see what the governor saw and had to smile while making the commendations.